Hello, I'm going to read Dabchick by Haruki Murakami. That's about it. That's all an intro you need, really, isn't it? Okay. When I reached the bottom of a narrow concrete stairway, I found myself in a corridor that stretched on forever, straight ahead, a long corridor with ceilings so high that the passageway felt more like a dried-up drainage canal than a corridor. It had no decoration of any kind. It was an authentic corridor that was all corridor and nothing but corridor. The lighting was feeble and uneven, as if the light itself had finally reached its destination after a series of terrible mishaps. It had to pass through a layer of thick black dust that caked the fluorescent tubes installed at irregular intervals along the ceiling. And of those tubes, 1 in 3 was burnt out. I could hardly see my hand in front of my eyes. The place was silent. The only sound in the gloomy hallway was the curiously flat slapping of my tennis shoes against the concrete floor. I kept walking, 200 yards, 300 yards, maybe half a mile, not thinking, just walking. No time, no distance, no sense that I was moving forward in any way. But I must have been. All of a sudden, I was standing in a T-junction. A T-junction? I fished a crumpled postcard from my jacket pocket and let my eyes wander over its message. Walk straight down the corridor. Where it intersects at right angles with another corridor, you will find a door. I searched the wall in front of me, but there was no sign of a door, no sign that there had ever been a door, no indication that there would ever be a door installed in this wall. It was a plain, simple concrete wall, with no distinguishing features other than those shared by other concrete walls. No metaphysical doors, no symbolic doors, no metaphorical doors, no nothing. I ran my palm over long stretches of the wall, but it was just a wall, smooth and blank. There must be some mistake, I was sure. Leaning against the wall, I smoked a cigarette. Now what? Was I to forge on or go back? Not that the answer was ever seriously in doubt. I had no choice. I had to go on. I was sick of being poor, sick of monthly payments, of alimony, of my cramped apartment, of the cockroaches in the bath, of the rush hour underground, sick of everything. Now at last, I had found a decent job. The work would be easy, the pay astoundingly good. Bonuses twice a year, long summer holiday. I wasn't going to give up now, just because I was having trouble finding one lousy door. If I couldn't find the door here, I would simply carry on until I did find it. I am in need of water. I pulled a 10 yen coin from my pocket and flipped it. Heads. I took the corridor to the right. The passageway turned twice to the right, once to the left, down 10 steps and turned right again. The air here made me think of coffee jello. It was chilly and strangely thick. I thought about the prospect of a salary, about the refreshing cool of an air-conditioned office. Having a job was a wonderful thing. I quickened my pace and went on down the corridor. At last there was a door ahead. From this distance, it looked like a ragged old postage stamp, but the closer I came, the more it took on the look of a door, until there could no longer be any doubt. I cleared my throat and, after a light knock on the door, I took a step back and waited for a response. 15 seconds went by. Nothing. Again I knocked, this time a little harder, then stepped back to wait. Again nothing. All around me, the air was gradually congealing. Urged on by my own apprehension, I was taking a step forward to knock for a third time when the door opened soundlessly, naturally, as if a breeze had sprung up to swing it on its hinges, though, to be sure, nature had nothing to do with it. The click of a switch came first, and then a man appeared before me. He was in his middle 20s and perhaps 2 inches shorter than me. Water dripped from his freshly washed hair, and the only clothing on his body was a maroon dressing gown. His legs were abnormally white and his feet as tiny as a child's. His features were as blank as a handwriting practice pad, but his mouth wore a faintly apologetic smile. He was probably not a bad man. "Sorry, you caught me in the bath," he said, drying his hair with a towel. "The bath?" I glanced instinctively at my watch. "It's a rule. We have to bathe after lunch." "I see. May I ask the nature of your business?" I drew the postcard from my jacket pocket and handed it to the man. He took it in his fingertips so as to avoid wetting it and read it over several times. "I'm afraid I'm 5 minutes late," I said. "Sorry." He nodded and returned the card to me. You'll be starting to work here then?" "That's right." "Funny. I haven't heard about any new hirings. I'll have to announce you to my superior. That's my job, you know. All I do is answer the door and announce people to my superior." "Well, good. Would you please announce me?" "Of course, if you'll just tell me the password." "The password? You didn't know there was a password?" I shook my head. "No one told me about a password." "Then I can't help you. My superior is very strict about that. I'm not to let in anyone who doesn't know the password." This was all news to me. I took the postcard from my pocket again and studied it to no avail. It said nothing about a password. "They probably forgot to write it," I said. "The directions for getting here were a little off, too. If you'll just announce me to your superior, I'm sure everything will be fine. I've been hired to start work here today. I'm sure your superior knows all about it. If you'll just announce my arrival." "That's what I need the password for," he said, and began groping for a cigarette, only to find that his dressing gown had no pockets. I gave him one of my cigarettes and lit it for him with my lighter. "Thanks, that's very nice of you," he said. "Now, are you sure you can't recall anything that might have been a password?" I could only shake my head. "I don't like this finicky business any better than you do, but my superior must have his reasons. See what I mean? I don't know what kind of person he is. I've never met him. But you know how people like that are. They get these bees in their bonnets. Please don't take it personally." "No, of course not." "The chap here before me announced somebody he felt sorry for because the person claimed he just forgot the password. He was fired on the spot. And you of all people know how hard it is to find work these days." I nodded. "How about it then?" I said. "Can you give me a hint? Just a little one?" Leaning against the door, the man exhaled a cloud of smoke. "Sorry, it's against the rules." "Oh, come on. What harm can a little hint do?" "Yes, but if it ever got out, I'd be in deep trouble." "I won't tell a soul. You won't tell a soul. How will they ever know?" This was a deadly serious business for me. I wasn't going to give up. After some indecision, the man bent close to my ear and whispered, "Are you ready for this? All right, now, it's a simple word, and it has something to do with water. It fits in your hand, but you can't eat it." Now it was my turn to mull things over. "What's the first letter?" "D," he said. "Driftwood?" I ventured. "Wrong," he said. "2 more." "2 more what?" "2 more tries. If you miss those, you've had it. I'm sorry, but I'm risking a lot here, breaking the rules like this. I can't just let you keep on guessing. Look, I really appreciate you giving me a chance like this, but how about a few more hints? How many letters in the word, for instance?" He frowned. "Next, you're going to ask me to tell you the whole damned thing." No, I would never do that, never. Just tell me how many letters there are in the word. OK, 8, he said with a sigh. My father always told me, give somebody a hand and he'll take an arm. I'm sorry, really. Anyhow, it's 8 letters. Something to do with water. It fits in your hand, but you can't eat it. That's right. It starts with a D and it has 8 letters. Correct. I concentrated on the riddle. Dabchick, I said finally. Nope. Anyway, you can eat a dabchick. You sure? Probably. It might not taste good, he added with less than total conviction, and it wouldn't fit in your hand. Have you ever seen a dabchick? No, he said. I don't know anything about birds, especially water birds. I grew up in the middle of Tokyo. I can tell you all the stations on the Yamanote line on the right order, but I've never seen a dabchick. Neither had I, of course. I didn't even know that I knew the word until I heard myself saying it. But dabchick was the only 8-letter word I could think of that fitted the clues. It's got to be dabchick, I insisted. The little palm-sized dabchicks taste so bad you couldn't get a dog to eat one. Hey, wait a minute, he said. It doesn't matter what you say, dabchick is not the password. You can argue all you want, but you've got the wrong word. But it fits all the clues. Connected with water, fits in your hand, you can't eat it, 8 letters, it's perfect. There's just one thing wrong. What's that? Dabchick is not the password. Well then, what is? He had to catch himself. I can't tell you, because it doesn't exist, I declared in the coldest tone I could manage. There is no other 8-letter word for a thing connected with water that fits in your hand, but you can't eat it. But there is, he pleaded, close to tears. Is not, is. You can't prove it, and Dabchick meets all the criteria. I know, but still, there might be a dog somewhere that likes to eat palm-sized Dabchicks. All right, if you're so smart, tell me where you can find a dog like that. What kind of dog? I want concrete evidence. He moaned and rolled his eyes. I went on. I know everything there is to know about dogs, but I have never, ever seen a dog that likes to eat palm-sized dabchicks. Do they taste that bad? He whimpered. Awful, just awful. Ugh. Have you ever tasted one? Never. Do you expect me to put something so revolting in my mouth? Well, no, I suppose not. In any case, I want you to announce me to your superior, I demanded. Dabchick. I give up, he said, wiping his hair once again with his towel. I'll give it a try, but I'm pretty sure it won't do any good. Thanks, I said. I'm in your debt. But tell me, he said, are there really such things as palm-sized dabchicks? Yes, no question. They exist somewhere, I said, though for the life of me I couldn't tell how the word had popped into my head. The palm-sized dabchick wiped his glasses with a square of velvet and let out another sigh. His lower right molar throbbed with pain. Another trip to the dentist, he thought. I can't take it anymore. The world is such a drag. Dentists, tax returns, car payments, broken down air conditioners. He let his head settle back against the leather-covered armchair, closed his eyes and thought about death. Death was as quiet as the ocean bottom, as sweet as a rose in May. The dabchick had been thinking about death a lot these days. In his mind, he saw himself enjoying his eternal rest. Here lies the palm-sized dabchick, read the words engraved on the tombstone. Just then his intercom buzzed. He aimed one angry shout at the device. What? Someone to see you, sir, came the voice of the doorman. Says he's supposed to start work here today. He knows the password. The palm-sized dabchick scowled and looked at his watch. 15 minutes late. Right, that was Dabchick by Haruki Murakami. and I lost count of the amount of times I said the words Dabchick and door. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much. I have to make sure I actually turn this thing off this time.